I am Doomsvince, and this is day 132 of Spawn Year.
I didn't think it was possible in this veritable wonderland, but I am depressed. The lack of quality writing from last episode appears not to be a fluke, but the new, conscious direction this series is taking. Unless Alan McElroy or some other writer with some imagination and passion for turning this material into something entertaining and at least marginally complex suddenly takes over, I really doubt this changes anytime soon. Two does not a pattern make, but I'm not hopeful. Like last episode, this one is lifeless, awkwardly paced, and not very compelling or well conceived. It all strikes me as hurried and phoned in, as if it hooked its audience with a successful first season, and now all it has to do is try to recreate what kept that audience coming back. Oh, not the intriguing and involved parallel politics between hell and U.S. law, or the explorations through Al's new nightmare of a life of concepts like loyalty and love and evil and freedom from being controlled. Strip away everything but the most obvious themes and you're left with a generally grim ambiance, a lot of sex, and a lot of violence. And while those three novelties may have carried some viewers through in 1998, I'm getting incredibly bored. Clown plants dreams in Spawn's head of Terry conspiring to get rid of Al so he can have Wanda for himself. Like in the comics, Spawn becomes suspicious of Terry even though he has no proof of this, and starts following him in case there's truth in Clown's visions. I like that he investigates before he acts and doesn't just grab Terry and yell, "You traitor!" making idiotic assumptions based on nothing, and I still like that he doesn't know who killed him yet. I think it's a good idea to make him trust Terry before he knows about Wynn, get that out of the way so that maybe he has an ally in the know when he finally discovers that. And since this Spawn has mind meld powers, he can be certain without a shadow of a doubt that Terry doesn't know who his murderer was, that he's just taking care of Wanda like he promised, and that he has been and always shall be Al's friend. But the scenes leading up to this revelation are relentlessly dull. With Chapel out of the picture, Wynn sends two stoic, emotionless bozos after Terry since he knows Terry's onto his traitorous arms-dealing activities. By the way, speaking of Chapel, Sam and Twitch have picked him up, and that might be an interesting departure from the comics. We'll see where that goes. I'm not sure why the original dark-haired female assassin isn't Jessica Priest. This would have been the perfect opportunity to finally make Miss MacGuffin relevant to an actual Spawn story. Wynn wants to frame Terry for his own crimes, or similar ones, so he hires a nerd to Photoshop a backdoor arms deal, sends creepy spectacle guy and not Jessica Priest to kill him under the pretense of his resisting arrest. Terry gets away from them, and there's a boring chase that seems to last, how long has Spawn Year been going so far? About 130 days, with Spawn lurking in the shadows in dramatic poses. When Spawn finally discovers Terry didn't conspire to kill him, he fends off the Wynn squad, and that's about it. Clown keeps trying to convince Spawn to axe Terry anyway, and Spawn refuses, which would be more admirable if he didn't say to himself, "Take care of Wanda until I come for her." Oh great, I may have to live through that again? After the nicely conceived image of Spawn giving up his wedding ring last season, representing his silent pledge to move on and allow Wanda to live her new life as he figured out how to do the same, or at least that's how I read it at the time. Clearly, somebody was mistaken. I was expecting some bold new direction that moves Spawn away from his old family and friends and into uncharted territory. Instead, we've got the same inconsistent and unsympathetic selfish motivations from the comic. Plus Wanda angry with Terry for putting himself in danger like Al did, and Terry completely refusing to empathize even after promising her at Al's grave he'll never risk making her a double widow. I came to appreciate and understand Wanda last season. Now she's relegated to the worried, doting wife, and Terry is uninteresting and barely likable at all. It's also really odd that Clown didn't think to try turning Spawn against people from his past before he seemed to be moving well past that. Clown just got lucky that Spawn's suddenly a lot less reasonable and thoughtful this season. And why has all of a sudden Clown's clever dialogue been replaced with just a lot of shrill laughter? This was the most interesting and intelligent version of Clown, and it's being ruined for no good reason. Well, I was gonna spend the rest of the day watching Lost, but now I don't feel like doing anything. Signed, Captain Logan.